BORDA is basically an authorising body for off-road driving and for vehicle mounted winches. So anything off-road, quad bikes, UTVs, 4x4s, vehicle mounted winches, BORDA issues certificates which are fully auditable. It's for anybody that uses a 4x4 as part of their job. It's also incredibly useful for somebody who does it recreationally, so that you understand what you can and can't do, what is acceptable, how the vehicles work. So it's far more than ticking a health and safety box. BORDA courses really fall into three areas. So we have BORDA Basic. That is a half-day course for a couple of people. That's aimed at people who perhaps drive on simple, straightforward ground. You know, people like park rangers on relatively flat ground. Then we move on to BORDA Standard. So that's a one-day course for two people. That covers moderate hills. That covers possible loss of traction. And it covers an awful lot more depth into the vehicle, and we have a lot more time for the practical side of things. We always make sure that we do watercross and wading. We always make sure we do that in standard level, because flooding water is always something that's important to people. Then we go into higher level, where we go into a lot more depth. It's a 2-day course for up to 3 people. We look at loss of traction situations, we look at recovery, we look at driving in darkness. So a lot more depth and a lot more sort of technical challenges, shall we say. So we have a couple of Land Rover Defenders. We also have a large ex-military lorry, so if you want something bigger and heavier, we can do that. We also run a fleet of quad bikes, and we can bring in UTVs if you require. Generally, we use a lot of customers' own vehicles as well, so we'll use a mixture of ours and their vehicle. We will allow customers to bring their own vehicles of all shapes and sizes. So we've trained in everything from a tiny little Skoda Yeti all the way up to a 16-ton MAN fire engine. So everything kind of in between we can cope with. We have 3.5–4 miles of purpose-built off-road course on an 800-acre estate. So we have got wooded sections where we've got rutted tracks within woods where there's tight corners. So we're very lucky in the fact that we have a purpose-built site that has been designed and built so that it covers pretty much every obstacle that you're likely to come across. First and foremost, when you arrive here, we'll make you a cup of tea or coffee, we'll get you comfortable, we'll do the sort of standard paperwork, the health and safety things. But more importantly is I want to know from you what you want from today. What's your experience? What sort of vehicles do you drive? Are there particular things that you've had problems with that we can try and solve for you? There's 3 chunks to the jigsaw puzzle. There is the interactive presentation, the theory side of things. There is the vehicle walk and the instructor's drive, and then we do your practical driving. So with those 3 pieces, that should make a very clear picture. So as much as possible, we always like to take our customers through their own vehicle so they understand what the vehicle will do, how it will behave, how the gearbox works, what the tyres are like. And we also look at under bonnet checks, we look at the general checks that we're going to do on a vehicle. So we're not trying to turn people into mechanics, but understanding what we will and won't do under the bonnet, understanding what we're looking at on the vehicle, both before we go off-road and at the end of off-roading, to make sure that the vehicle is in a fit and safe state to be taken back onto the road. So we have a tick sheet, if you like, to go through, where we've got various units that we must cover. So we're doing something like simulating a failed hill climb, so a hill that you don't make it up. We're making sure that when we go down a hill, we're doing it in the correct manner. We're doing and setting the vehicle up as it should be. So we're making sure that we're covering everything that we need to cover. And then if we've got bits that we need to hone, so perhaps somebody's a bit wobbly with the steering, or somebody's not quite sure on the gears, or somebody's not quite using the clutch correctly, that we work on that throughout the day, so that at the end of the course we're quite happy that is all going to plan. And then what will happen at the end of the course is if students are successful or trainees are successful, they will be issued with a BORDA certificate. So it's fully auditable. There's a trail there. I sign as a trainer to say that person is competent. The trainee signs to say that they accept that they've had that training. Everybody's happy that we understand that training has been delivered. So both from a company point of view, that employee has been trained and it's fully auditable.